Hey, it's your girl Kdiddavis coming back to you one more time. So I'm doing a questionnaire today. Not a question, really question and answer for people who are in shelters or who are thinking about going to shelters. Let me take this up. I'm not even hearing nothing else confusing me. So as you know, I'm here. I give different advice on, not really advice, technically advice, yes, about different things on YouTube. But one of the things I do on here is tell people about the shelter and homelessness in New York City. I could talk about New York City because I went through the shelters in New York City system, so I can't really tell you that much about other states, but I could just tell you about my experience that I have gone through. I meant to do this video a while ago, but I'm trying to get up with more questions, and when I think about it, then I forget, and I'm like, this girl, just write it down. When I write it down, I know what the questions are, so I know what to talk about. And it's like my other videos, you know, I just kind of sit down and talk about, come up with the top of my head, but with this is more calculated, is giving real information. I'm not saying that other stuff is not real, but you know, it's just, you know, I want to get all my facts together and things like that. So people ask me a lot of questions, right? So I answer them on the spot when they ask me questions, but sometimes I put the questions together to give you guys a video so I can have content plus get the information out there, because a lot of people don't have the information, and that's the sad thing about it. A lot of people don't know that much about the shelters. A lot of people just are misinformed about certain things, and I just want to get some of those things out the window, you know what I'm saying? One thing this is not part of my questionnaire, but I'm just going to tell you, when you're going to, a lot of people think that like back in the day, I think more for the 90s, but I don't, like right now, that's not the thing. Even last year, it wasn't the thing before the whole 19 happened. People think when you go to shelter, oh, bada bing, you're going to get an apartment. It's not like that. It's a whole process. You still have to do legwork and still be able to help yourself and things like that. So don't think you're going to go to shelter, oh, boom, go to shelter now, and then all of a sudden, next Saturday, I'm going to have an apartment in Wall Street. Not on Wall Street. It's not how it works. It takes time, it takes energy. You do a lot of legwork. Most of the time your caseworker is not doing their job. A lot of them don't know what to do because they just got in here like a few months ago and they're confused. They don't know what to do either. So I give you these videos to really help you out and to get just information out there. So one question was, and I actually this is for the families. So I think this could actually go for anybody, to be honest, but I call it PATH. If you don't know, PATH is for New York City, for the families, and you know, families with children, stuff like that. Even without children, we're just a family. So even if it's like not little ones, but it's like older ones, you can still go in. So yes. Why is this not moving? Oh my gosh. Okay. So a person asked me, and I knew this was the answer, but I just want to put it out there. Somebody asked me about animals, right? Somebody said, can you bring your animals to the shelter? The only animals you are allowed to bring to the shelter are like seeing eye dogs or what is it? Seeing eye dogs and emotional support animals. Like if a person who have a seizure, they will have an I want to say it's emotional support. They're actually called DSCR. So like a person have a seizure and the dog will be able to alert somebody, you know, for help and things like that, and making sure, you know, alive. Or I think they have one for diabetics, so I'm not even sure, but they have different dogs for different things. People have different disabilities and different things like that when they need animals. So those are the type of animals, like I think you get what to see an eye dog is. It kind of helps a person who's blind, who can't see. Preface of the name, everybody technically usually knows about like that animals. That's why I put it out there first. So that's the only animals you are allowed to bring in the shelter. You might say that's a dumb one to ask. No, no question is dumb. People ask me. I'm here to answer and be able to help you make your shelter experience more bearable, okay? Okay, so this other question somebody asked me. Do you have to be married to live in the shelter with your partner? Okay. I'm going to tell you the instances you are allowed to go in the shelter with your partner, okay? First instance, you have to be married. That means you have to have a marriage certificate. That's one way to claim, you know, together. You just can't be a boyfriend and girlfriend and just like, I want to be with this person, da, 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 da. No, you have to be married. You have to have court papers of saying something like a domestic partnership. And also another way, if you're not married but you have kids together, you can't just be saying, oh, that's my kid and I claim that kid. No, it has to be that your name as a father, because usually women are going in there. It has to be that your name as a man have to be on the birth certificate. This is what they told me at PATH, so I'm relaying to you so you know. But people ask me this question all the time, so I'm giving you this information because people ask me the questions that they don't have the answers. So I'm giving you the answers so you can be well informed about your rights and what you need to do to get into the shelter environment safely and be good. I know I shouldn't just touch that door, but it is what it is. But here, you know, I'm not gonna edit that. I'm not gonna edit that out. So it is what it is. Okay. What else? So I have to put my password back in. Do you have to bring in if you're not married? Okay, I told you that already. Okay, so DV cases, people come to me with this also. They have a program named Nova, I want to believe it's pronounced, and they told me when I called into PATH, I heard about the program, but I never had a DV case. I never had to delve in that area, but people who talk to me do have these cases, so I don't want to be misinformed about certain information. They said if you go to the PATH, which is in the Bronx, the information will be down below, so go in that. Hopefully you also subscribe to my channel, share my information, people who might need it. It's just good to have the information out there, and I'm the person who does it. Not only person, but you know, I tell you the information, right? So when you go to PATH and you tell them that you have a DV case, because they ask you, when you go to PATH, you walk in, you go through the scanners, they make you go to the metal detectors, they'll scan you, whatever, and you go up to the window when they ask for like paperwork. Sometimes they make you go to the window, or there's usually a guard sometimes to the side. I've been there both times when I've done both, so I'm telling you both. They make you fill out information. They'll ask you about if you're domestic violence and stuff like that, yada yada yada. And the person on the phone told me once they know that you're this type of case, they'll put you over to the Nova group. Right now they said they're all working from home, which I don't know how that's gonna really help, but they're all working from home now with the pandemic, so you know, you still get helped, but it's gonna be different from what the process was before with this thing. Okay, so that's one. And I think people think that only domestic violence is only somebody hurting you and just like physically doing something. You have to have a police report. Again, I don't know what they qualify as domestic violence, but usually I don't want you to wait if you are in a domestic violence situation to wait when they punch you in your face. If they're threatening to say, I'm gonna punch you in your face one day, I'm gonna do this, or they're talking down at you all the time, make you feel bad about yourself, it's time for you to bounce, sis. It's time for you to bounce, sir. People think that, oh, men don't get it. No, men get it too. Take you and your kids, get up and go get some help. If you need it, go and get some help, please, because don't stay there in that relationship and then kids watch that happen to you, and then the same pattern they have in their life when they get older. Don't do that to your kids. Don't do that to yourself. Go and get some help, please, please, please. I'm just putting it out there. I didn't mean to talk about that, but it had to be said. So a lot of things I didn't write down on here to say. Top of my dome is coming off, but I just want to make sure you know that did I lose my there's help out there, and you just have to go out there and seek it. The help is not going to come to you and say, yo, do you have a domestic problem? Do you need help? Do you need food stamps? Do you need that? No. Your job is to get off your rump and bump, and go out there and get some help, right? There's so much resources out there, and I know it's not enough to even go around, and the money they give it into the homeless people and shelters are not enough. But you have a little to start off with, and if you need to get that help, you need to go out there and get that help. Okay, guys? I'm just saying. So what's the next one? Pan problem with COVID. All right, so with COVID, right? So the problem we have right now, you know, the whole world's in this whole thing going on. So New York City right now, I'm gonna tell you if I forget this, the person told me before this whole thing happened, if you're a person or has a problem with their parent at home, and just you and your parent don't get along, and you would move out because you and that person have a problem, before they said they would deny you, but because of COVID, they say they're not denying people based on that anymore. They're taking everybody in. But once everything's over, they're kicking those people out, which I think is crazy. But that's what the guy said. After COVID, they put anybody who had those certain kind of problems like that will be sent back to where they belong. So just put that in mind. They said usually before it said 10 days based on, you know, everything, but he's saying that it'll take the same amount of time like it did before. I'm like, I knew that was wrong because I've talked to somebody personally and they got the acceptance for the shelter way past the 10 days. So I think he's misinformed about that, but everything else he got. The guy I talked to, the person I talked to had a bit of a toot also, which I was confused about, because I was like, I just want to do a video for my people, and you give me an attitude for what, sir? I'm just trying to get information. Like, it's how people, like, I don't get it. People are there to help, and they don't want to do their jobs. You get paid for this, sir. You get paid for this. Just saying, okay? Like, why? Why I have to get an attitude? I'm asking a question. Please. That's beside the point. So it's taking longer, in my opinion. I've talked to several different people about this. It's taking longer than 10 days, personally, from what I see. But it might have gone back to almost a little bit regular. The person I talked to happened in the middle of the pandemic, so it might have changed and might be elongated a little bit compared to when it just started. And I know they have the law saying people can't go. Not people can't go. People are not supposed to be getting evicted right now, but people are still leaving their apartment. After this whole lock about you can't evict people is up, you still have to pay that person back their rent. So it's like people are still leaving their houses and their homes and apartments and stuff like that. So people are still going to shelter. People are staying with their family and stuff, but you don't want to be over, you know, with your family too much, and it's just like, it's too much. It's a lot. And I hope, guys, the information I'm giving you is able to help you, and I hope it does help you. And we're blessed and highly favored on this channel, so if you're listening to this, you're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. I don't know the rest of the words, but I remember that part. Sorry. Mess. Can you be in the shelter and work? Somebody said, can you be in the shelter and work? And the answer, again, you might say that's, you know, that's a dumb question, but it's not. Somebody asked me that, that's why I'm giving out the answer, because people ask me this question all the time. Yes, you can be in the shelter and work. You being in the shelter and working has nothing to do with it. The point is, you working has nothing to do with you needing some place to stay and put down your head. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a job, you can still go to shelter. I had a job when I was in the shelter. You know what I'm saying? They want you to have a job, because if you have a job, that means you get the hell out even faster. You feel me? So yes, you could be in a shelter and have a job. Actually, all the stuff to get out the shelter, from what I understand, a lot of them, the ones I've seen and heard about, you have to have a job to even get out. So of course, the shelters I've been in, they haven't really helped me find a job. I found a job outside myself and looking at other resources and stuff like that, word of mouth kind of thing. So yes, I hope it's not a glare. That's like this. I can't see the viewfinder, but I just know I can see it now. But I hope it's not a bad enough glare. I hope it's bright enough for you. Lord, I should have done my background. My daughter's in the room right now doing art class on her tablet, so it's late. But the art class starts at 6, and it's like, I think it's in California. I don't know. It can't be here, because they wouldn't have the little kids coming out at 6 o'clock doing the damn art class. I'm just saying. Whatever. If my family is big. Okay. I've seen this people do this before in the shelter I was in. A person asked if the family is big, right? How would they separate them, and how would they have space for it? The shelter I was in gave a family, because it was huge. It was a Hispanic family. They had a couple of kids and like a couple of teenagers or whatever, and its dad as well, like mom and dad and a whole shebang and a bunch of kids. They split the room in 2, so one go over here and one go over there. From what I saw, I think it was a girl room and a boys room to make it much easier, and that's how they did everything. So yeah, so don't matter if you have 50 kids in your thing, they can help you. So don't think your family size makes a difference, guys. You can get help, okay? Do not stop yourself from getting help, because the help is out there. You just have to go and get it, okay? Okay. So online classes with COVID, guys. So some shelters are trying to get internet access. A lot of shelters have not got the internet access. With the shelters, with kids in shelters and stuff like that, the DOE supposed to have like a whole little line and thing going in. Kids supposed to be getting, the people supposed to initially got all the kids, but it hasn't, because a lot of kids are still being absent. As you know, homeless kids have a very high attendance, low attendance rate. So they're trying to not have that happen. And with COVID, everything is even more less attendance than before, because they haven't got those proper supplies. They don't have Wi-Fi usually in the shelters. Actually, I don't think any shelter before this happened had Wi-Fi, to be exact. So they gave kids to tablets with T-Mobile chips in it. Some of the, I guess, you know, like some structures, they can't take the internet properly, so they switch them out for Verizon. Which I'm kind of disappointed. I love T-Mobile. If you don't know, I love T-Mobile. but they switch them out for the Verizon SIM card. So that's what's been happening right now with COVID. Your kids will still be able to go to school, still be getting certain things. They have also a daycare after school kind of thing for people in the shelter also, because if you don't know, even though you have a job but you have a kid and you want to leave them in the shelter, if they're not over 18, they can't stay there by themselves. So you have to stay there with them. If you find out, you can get in trouble for leaving your child there without adult supervision. So just be aware of that. So they have special programs for the city, not only for people in the shelter, but all over New York City to get these kind of, you know, things. So ask your case management when you go in about things like that, okay? So I'm almost done, guys. Where would it be better for, because, okay, a lot of people from different states are coming into New York City. New York City is packed as it is. I'm not saying you can't come here. You can still come, because from what I understand, other places don't have as great of a shelter as New York. But New York is still struggling, and still a lot of things need to be changed and made better. But come on in where the table is spread. It's a song. Come on in where the table is spread. I'm just saying. So if you want to come in, you can. It's just, we have a lot of people here who need the help too. I'm just saying. But we definitely welcome you here, and we hope you get your help that you need, okay? How do you provide? Oh, I went to the wrong place. Can you easily move? Somebody said, can you easily move your food? They asked me, can you easily move your food stamp case? You can. I see people who said, but they live, at the time they weren't living in the shelter, they was living in a regular house. So I think it's probably different with people in the shelter. But this person had a problem moving it. But I know people who personally, I know in my life that I knew for a couple of years, when they moved from different states, they took their food stamp case and or a PA case with them to different states, and they never had a problem. You just have to bring the proper documentation and have patience. Now with everything going on, it might be so hopefully that doesn't happen to you. I hope everything just comes off smoothly, and it's easy to add people to your case. When you have all the proper documentation for those people, they're going to add on to your case who's going to be in your household. And I think that's all the questions I have, guys. Hold on. Parent problem. Hold on, sorry. Because of that, can you come? Okay, so I think it's all the questions I asked, or just people asked me in general, and I got answers from people from past, or the questions I already know the answers for, I answered myself. Guys, if you know somebody who needs the help, if you know somebody who has a domestic problem, if you know somebody who just need a little information, share my video, subscribe to my channel, get that word out there. And make people don't know. People, I always say a lot of my videos, people think that homeless people, a lot of them are just lazy. We're not lazy. Like, people be going in with jobs. Like, you don't know why a person's circumstance made them homeless. It could be a fire. It could be, they probably didn't know to manage money good. It could be, like me, kicked out of the house. I might have been an adult, but I was on bed rest. I had to stop my job because I was on bed rest because I was 8 months pregnant. And I'm on the street. Where do you go? Ghostbusters. And then at first, and also, this thing happened to me. I didn't know this. If they say no to you, you stay there till they get a yes. Cause I didn't know that, and I had to be asked, like, people had to ask around for me to stay. I didn't have nowhere to stay. I was gonna stay in the train. So you just have to be resourceful. You have to just go out there. People just think that, you know, we're just dirty or this and that. No. Different circumstances happen. It could be a hurricane, it could be a tornado. It have to be like, I'm just giving you different scenarios why a person could be homeless. You don't know why they became that way. Do not look down on people because of their circumstances. You don't know how they got there, and you don't know how they're gonna turn out. Remember celebrities, whatever, back in the day, Steve Harvey, he was homeless, living in his, at least he had a car though, living in his car, and look what he had now, bro. Like, your past cannot determine your future. So guys, keep your head up. It's gonna be okay, and God got you. We're blessed and highly favored. Bye, guys.